welcome back to the She Ascends Circle Lounge. Danielle here with Kay and Behati, and we are going to roll on and wrap up our series on things women don't say out loud. We have been talking about it out loud for the last 3 weeks, and so today, on week 4, we are wrapping up the series on I want more, and that scares me. So let's talk about the thing that doesn't make sense on paper. So your life looks good, you've accomplished things, you've checked the boxes, and yet there's that quiet voice inside of you whispering, there's more. More peace, more joy, more alignment, more you. But wanting more comes with a cost because it might mean outgrowing people, might mean outgrowing spaces, or outgrowing that version of you that everybody else is comfortable with. And that is terrifying. So today, we're talking about the desire you've been trying to silence. But what happens when you finally stop ignoring it? We're listening. So that desire for more, it's powerful, but it can also feel unsettling. So ladies, I'm bringing you in. What comes up for you when you think about wanting more from your life?
I want to pitch this to Kay after I say this, because I had an aha recently. So as an author this year, I have struggled with how do you become an authorpreneur? Like, how do you build a business around being an author and having a book? How do you build a business around that? So I've been studying different business systems, and I'm like, I don't like that one. That one's okay. I'll take a couple pieces of that, like a charcuterie. And so I've been trying to build my own structure, but something kept like pausing or slowing down, and just felt like I was trudging through this thing. And then finally I was like, okay, I know I need help with my social medias because I'm a creative. I make art, but I'm also struggling with the digital art, with the social spaces. So I hired a young woman, dynamic. We had a conversation, and I told her, I said, I really want to approach this authorship like a creator, like an artist, like someone who's launching something. And she was like, oh, like an album. So your book is like an album. And I was like, oh, yes. I want to be a rock star author. I want to be, glammed up with the fashion, and I want to have different conversations and experiences when I don't want to just sit on stage and be like, me, my book. I want it to be a whole ass like variety show, right? Like I want people to have fun in the discomfort and the uncomfortable moments of unmasking. And she was like, yes. And so we jive with that. But part of me is just like, okay, if you're going to own this creative authorship space, what does that look like? How do creatives do things unapologetically without worry of judgment? Because I still struggle with that. Mm-hmm. So Kay, I'm like taking the question and like, how do you live in your artistry carefree from judgment?
Well, you don't. You don't. I mean, that's part of it, right? Everyone deals with the fear of judgment. I don't care who you are, what you're doing. It's a human condition.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because people need people. No one gets anywhere by themselves. We don't. And we are pack animals, for lack of a better term.
Yeah.
We are pack animals. So it's a biological need. We are born physically with what's called skin hunger. The need to be, yes. So in massage therapy school, we are taught, there was a study done with orphans, and they took 2 sets of babies, and one set they loved and coddled and cared for and fed and all the things, gave all the attention to. And the other set, they just fed and changed the diaper. They didn't, hold and coddle and all of that, right? And cuddle. And the babies that were given all of the extra physical attention thrived. They put on weight. they met their benchmarks for development. The babies that didn't get that didn't thrive as much. Did they live and survive? Yeah, they did. But a lot of them were underweight. They struggled to meet the benchmarks. So, to speak to earlier conversations, it is coded within us genetically that people need people.
Mm-hmm.
We do.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't live without that fear. Fear is just a part of who we are. It keeps us safe. It's our inner lizard brain that goes, look both ways before you cross the street. Maybe hold your tongue here so that either you don't hurt someone's feelings or you don't incur someone's wrath. It's that inner instinct. How I've learned how to navigate that is that other people's opinions / judgments has everything to do with who they are, what their perception is in the world, what buttons it pushes for them, and absolutely nothing to do with me.
Oh my gosh, I just downloaded before you even said that, I saw something and it was like, other people's opinions are none of my business. And I was like, that's what I needed.
Now,
I needed that permission. I needed that permission.
Yeah, so it is true that when you're in business, it is important to be mindful of how we put things out there, especially if we're wanting to get new clients or sell whatever we're selling. We're mindful, right? And as mindful as you can be, you still have no control over how it's going to land with people.
Sure, sure.
You don't. The only thing you can do is present it with the best intentions and with an open and good heart and lay it out there. And however it lands is how it's going to land. The most famous people in the world will tell you, don't read the comments.
Yeah.
Just don't. The people that it's meant to land with, it'll land. And the people it's not, they're just not in the space and place to hear what you're trying to say. And that's okay.
Yeah.
It's about dropping all the blame, shame, and guilt and the inner need to people please and perform and be accepted by everyone.
Yeah.
You're not going to. It will never happen.
Right.
Let it go, give it up.
Yeah.
When
That's why I love artists, because we will create something and put it out there because it was so strongly desiring to become something from within us. Like, I just went to an art exhibit, a friend of mine, and it was very eclectic. But I loved it because I knew it came from her soul. Like, this is her soul work. And I was like, yeah, not everybody would love or understand this, but she did it from a space that was so authentic and vulnerable. And I was like, I'm learning all these lessons now that I'm putting myself in more creative spaces. Like, how do the creatives push past the fear and the worry of validation and acceptance and interpretation and just create the art and leave it where it needs to be? And I find that so fascinating. That's the journey I want to take with my work. So thank you for sharing that.
So a big part of that is I can only speak to how I approach it and how I've heard other artists approach it. I approach it with a childlike wonder, with going back to the state of play. I heard a couple, they have a podcast and it's called The Artist's Life. And they teach kids, they have an art summer camp. And they say, they said, we think with the expectation that we're going to have this great art project. We have them for 2 hours and we have all the things and we give it to them and they're done in 10 minutes. 10 minutes. Versus when they give it to adults, they need 3 hours. Why is that? Because the adults are sitting back, hemming and hawing. Yeah. Is this good enough? Is this perfect? Is this right? With keeping it in mind that they have to have it look a certain way to be accepted. Kids don't care.
They just dive.
They're in the moment.
Yeah.
And I will never forget the very first piece of art that I ever sold. When I made it, I was madder than wet hen. I was furious. And the first part of that painting, literally, my brother told me looked like somebody got massacred on the canvas. I'm not kidding. Including the pigment of the color red, it looked like blood.
Oh,
Yeah. And then as I calmed, I added more colors. And the woman that bought it, she bought it because it connected with her, not from the place that I made it from, but from her own place. And she told me later, she said, I know I check in with myself by what I see when I look at that painting every morning. And she sees different things and she gets different things. And I sold another artwork that I made from a very wounded place and a hurt place. All my art is an expression of what I'm thinking and feeling in the moment and things that I can't put into words, and I just leave it. I just leave it all out there without of the expectation of what I'm going to do with it next or how it's going to land. I don't care. I've got to get it out of me and out there, period. Now later I could tweak it to if I want it to land in a certain market, but that's no guarantee.
Right.
That is no guarantee. And I'm working on a piece now that when I first started it, I just needed to express this deep grief and sadness, and that there's beauty within that. And by the time I finish it, we'll see how it lands. I can't wait to show you all. I'm always hoping that whatever I do serves my overall mission of sparking hope in people's eyes and knowing that they're not alone. And as long as I am confident that I've done my best to do that, then I'm happy with it. And how it lands is how it lands. I give up my need for control, for having to control the outcome.
Yeah.
And once I do that, and sometimes I have to remind myself of it, once I give up my need for control, I have more peace and I have freedom. I unlock my own cell door and I free myself from that need to please.
I have a piece.
I love this. We got totally off our topic, but it was great. So we went the way we were supposed to go. So everybody scratch what I said we were talking about this week because we did not talk about it.
Here's the thing. And I'm sorry for taking us off topic, but I want to bring it back around for you because it does matter. What Kay was conveying is that the things that scare us the most is because it's coming from somewhere that we know once we let it go, we're vulnerable to all the interpretations of it. We're responsible for how it impacts someone. And that stems from the guilt and the programming that we had as women, as we talked about previously, being responsible for other people's freaking feelings.
Right.
We're not responsible for other people's feelings. We're responsible for what we create and put out into the world. So I think there's a book I read, The Artist's Way, and that book has unlocked for me, like, create the thing from within and let it be what it is. Who cares what people think, right? Other people's opinions of me is none of my business. So when we talk about, I want to do this thing, but I'm afraid to put it out there. My fear has been like, I'm afraid of having to explain the interpretation of the thing that I created in the world.
Yeah, no, I get that. Even just, wanting to coach or even start a business. It seems like any time that I've wanted to do something or I have started to do something, there's always the naysayers. And, there's that, thinking you have to stay, you have to be at a traditional, job and you have to do this, you have to do that. Okay, well, it's funny because I have someone like sending me jobs that they've seen for me to apply for. And it's like, okay, I mean, it's all good. Yeah, I mean, I could use the money, but obviously this is not what I'm supposed to be doing anymore because it's not happened for me. But just in even prior, before losing the job, it's like sometimes you have to outgrow people in spaces, and no matter what that looks like. And I remember there was a time that I was at an event, and it was we were our the institution I worked for was merging with another one, and they had this big like party type thing, and oh, it was supposed to be such a happy blah 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 blah. And I never felt that it was going to be a good thing, but it wasn't my decision. Nobody asked me. But I remember looking around just at these people, and some of them I knew from where I was already at. Some I had no idea who they were because they were from the other place. But I just had this feeling where something just said, just boom. And I said, this isn't where I'm supposed to be anymore.
Mm-hmm.
That was about 2 years ago. Now, did I know I was going to be pushed out a year plus later? Nope. But obviously it happened for a reason. And that change was scary. Me thinking about leaving on my own, even without having something else, because I went from one job to the other, that was scary. It was scary for me. And but I knew that there was more. And I knew that I wanted to do something else that was more meaningful and that I could make a difference, even if it was just a little piece by helping people or helping them navigate through things that I've gone through. And I truly
Yeah.
feel that my life experiences have brought me to the point where I can share and help with others, whether it be on this platform, whether it be, in coaching or speaking to groups of people or in the book that I'm working on. So it does tie in together. I shouldn't say we totally
Yeah,
got
and
off
let me
topic, but
allow you to
yeah,
interpret the pattern that I'm seeing here for you is that you you were expelled from a space that you had outgrown. And
right.
now you have taken a leap of faith and said, I'm going to expand in a space that I don't have a lot of knowledge about, but I feel led to go into this space. Podcasting. You created a piece of art. You created this platform for women like Kay and I to have a deep conversation about how we're experiencing our humanity.
Yeah.
And so to me, that is expansion. Like I feel expanded having these conversations with you. I know Kay does too. Like you created something in a space of vulnerability through authentically being who you are and bringing women together, honoring that space and saying, I want to help women grow. I want to help women feel seen and feel heard. And so
Yeah.
to me, when you talk about like taking a leap of faith, like I know I want more, but I'm scared. You still did it anyway. You still
Yeah.
did it anyway.
And that's
Thank
correct,
you.
by the way. And thank you.
I don't want to do no damn podcast. That's a lot of work. I just want to show up and be like, meow, 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 meow.
Well, it's been great, and I know that those that do watch us and those that are coming, because I feel that this is going to grow into something a lot bigger than even I thought. Just kind of based on some other things that have been coming to me, and so I feel that I have the right to go on this journey with, and so I appreciate you and those that are watching or listening, because we are on podcast and on YouTube. So we're on several platforms now. Just continue to go on the journey with us, and invite anyone that that might be feeling these things. The woman who feels that she's meant for more, but she's afraid to move, or the woman who feels lost and she just doesn't know maybe how to navigate that season, or that woman who feels she just hasn't said it out loud yet, but she needs to give herself permission maybe to face that, yeah, this all looks good and I love them, but I'm just not happy, because you should be happy. And then again, as we talked in the first week, you could be the woman who she knows she's exhausted and she doesn't know where to start or what to do. And so we bring these conversations and real, raw, and our authentic selves, um, because there's a purpose and there's a need, and I truly believe that. So again, this has been the end of our Things That Women Don't Say Out Loud series, and continue to watch us. We've got more stuff coming. So whatever is good for your soul, listen to me and Behati and Kay and do that. See you next time.